Joining us now is NewsNation correspondent Joe Khalil on Capitol Hill. Joe, you spoke to one lawmaker who was in one of those briefings. What did they actually learn?
Yeah, we talked to a couple of them, actually, one on camera, but several of them told us what the FBI was telling them and the questions they were asking the FBI. A lot of it, Elizabeth, focused on the suspect himself, Shamsuddin Jabbar. There were a lot of questions about whether he was simply inspired by ISIS or whether he was directed by ISIS to commit this act of terror, which is obviously a very important difference and one that would make a whole world of a difference in how America responds to a situation like that. For now, most lawmakers tell me the FBI is leaning toward this was a lone wolf situation, but they say they don't have definitive proof to be able to say that. And the other big question that I heard lawmakers were asking is whether there was, in fact, a connection between what happened in Las Vegas with the Cybertruck blowing up and what happened in New Orleans. And right now, lawmakers are saying the FBI is still looking for that link. There are certainly a lot of similarities, as you've covered already, between those two, but there's simply not enough evidence to link them. They don't have that connection yet. Still, something lawmakers are worried about, asking about, and wondering what they're going to do moving forward in the new Congress in terms of any legislation or debates. I think certainly we're going to see that. What Congressman LaLota told me was that, look, right now it's an early investigation. He says being from New York, his constituents still very freshly remember 9/11, even though it was 20-some years ago. And he says we got to let all the facts play out, all the information come forward before they make any conclusions and action in Congress. This is what he said.
I come from New York. 9/11 is on many of my constituents' minds every day, especially when we go to big cities like New York, and we're always vigilant. There's a saying, if you see something, say something. That inspires us to be vigilant, to respect law enforcement, to communicate with law enforcement when something's out of place, and we should always continue to do so.
Elizabeth, you may remember there was this big debate about how much authority the FBI should have. These FISA warrants they get from a judge that allows them to sometimes wiretap, listen into American citizens if those citizens are talking to terror suspects abroad. That debate, we imagine, might be renewed as a result of what happened over the last couple days.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about stripping the FBI of a lot of power, and I think we need the FBI, and yet now we're hearing a lot of calls from Congress for the FBI to do more to find out about these people getting radicalized and at home and on their computer. All right, Joe Khalil from Capitol Hill, thank you. Coming up. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.